Hey, this is Frank Honus, and I want to welcome you to the Pure Life Podcast, helping individuals live with sexual integrity through Jesus Christ. Last week on the podcast, I began a brand new series called Stepping Stones in Recovery, essentially talking about the basic building blocks of recovery and the steps that we need to take to find sexual purity. And last week, I began the series with probably the most important thing I think in recovery is getting honest with yourself and admitting that you are a broken person, that you have sin in your life, that this is a behavior that you want to change, that you want to transform, feeling not just repentant, but broken for your sin and broken for your behavior. And so that's where every sexual recovery begins. So that was last week. This week I want to continue with finding accountability and filtering software. It's really important, like I said, to be honest with yourself, but you need to begin to take some action steps in your recovery. And so what I think is really important is to take some quick, wise, effective action steps, like setting up accountability and filtering software on all of your devices, on all of your computers, laptops, wherever there might be a slip up, a relapse, anything like that. And what I find is that so many men tend to skip this step in their recovery, and they often wonder why they struggle. I've asked guys before when they've shared with me that they've had a struggle or they've relapsed or they've gone back to look at porn or anything like that. And I've just asked them, so do you have any kind of boundary in place? Do you have any kind of filtering software, accountability software, anything like that in place? And many times they look at me and go, no. Or they tell me that it's too much money, or they tell me that they're so smart and crafty that they can get around the software or the password in place. And so I think it's really important that we talk a little bit about accountability and filtering, why it's important. And I'm going to offer you guys and share with you in a little bit some really very effective accountability softwares that you can download for your laptops and devices. But again, it's a very, very important step in our recovery, and so we need to take it. Here's something to think about, though. As men, probably as human beings, but as men especially, we don't like boundaries. We've lived a life of no boundaries, where we could do whatever we want. We could go wherever we want, whatever website that we wanted to go to, whatever content we wanted to access, movies, TV shows, and that's why we've gotten into so much trouble. That's why we've become addicted to things like pornography, and we've set up no boundaries in our minds and our thoughts for our thought life. That's why we've become so enslaved to lust and fantasy. And so the purpose of setting up boundaries in our lives is to protect us. It's not to keep us out. I think sometimes we think about boundaries as, we want to, rules to keep us out of places, to keep us out of all the fun things in life. And the truth is we've probably exposed ourselves to things that we thought were fun, that we thought was pleasurable, but it's really damaged our lives, damaged our mind, our emotions, our heart, big time. So the purpose, again, of setting up boundaries is really to protect us. And when you begin to set up boundaries in your life, you begin to set up systems, putting systems in place, like a filtering software or accountability software on your device. This might mean, giving up some freedoms. Giving up, maybe it's just limited access to some of the normal web browsing features on your web browser. Maybe it's setting up a time at night where you have to, shut the internet browser down. It has to shut off automatically so you can't be up into the wee hours of the morning going places that you shouldn't. And so if it's limited access and there are limited freedoms, this might mean that you have to give up some freedoms, some things that you normally wanted to experience that you might say, well, this guy gets to have this, or this guy gets to go anywhere he wants or go to this site or that site. He doesn't have any restrictions. I want to ask you a question. What is your sobriety and recovery worth to you? Is it worth a little bit of lack of freedoms from having the full web browser or having full, complete access to whatever site that you want to go to, whatever website whatever movie that you want to watch on your TV, if you have parental controls at home, Netflix or whatever that might be. What is your sobriety and recovery worth to you? Are you willing to do whatever it takes to become free? A very wise and effective step towards your recovery, as we talk about this series, Stepping Stones in Recovery, is putting filtering software, accountability software in place. And so there's some resources here I want to share with you. The first one is a really great resource that you can put on your computer. It's called X3 Watch, and it's from XXX Church, and it's x3watch.com. All of these sites, by the way, will come up on the screen for you to see to my left, to my left or right, depending on which side. But you'll be able to see these sites listed on the screen. The first one, like I said, is X3 Watch, and this is an accountability and filtering software. The free version offers accountability, and the premium offers accountability and filtering. So you have to pay for the premium, but the free is always available. So X3 Watch, fantastic software. Number two is Covenant Eyes. Covenant Eyes is another great filtering and accountability software that I tried for a while, and I use something else that I'm going to share with you in a second. But Covenant Eyes is great software. There is a small monthly fee that you have to pay for Covenant Eyes, but great for accountability and filtering. There's also Safe Eyes. Very, very familiar. Many people, Safe Eyes advertises a lot on the radio. Millions and millions of users for Safe Eyes. Again, an accountability and filtering software to protect your kids, to protect yourself from the dangers, from all that, from the content online, pornography and all kinds of adult content. So safeeyes.com, you can go there. I believe there's also a charge for that. And then the last one I want to share with you is called Canine Web Protection. This is the one that I personally use. I use this on my laptop. I use this on my iPhone and my tablet, my iPad. Very, very effective. I've never tested it. Never really gone out to look for porn when I've used these, obviously. But I'm believing and trusting that it works, and it definitely blocks different websites, blocks objectionable content that might be kind of flagged and might have some kind of suggestive nudity or some kind of pornographic thing in it. It's pretty good at catching those things. So caninewebprotection.com. So these are all different resources, 4 different kinds of accountability and filtering software that you can check out that I would highly recommend that you find and put on all your devices. I just want to share a scripture with you. It's Proverbs 9, 1 through 5. It says, "Wisdom has built her house. She has set up its 7 pillars. She has prepared," think about that word, hold that word, bookmark it in your mind. "She has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her servants, and she calls from the highest point of the city. Let all who are simple come to my house. To those who have no sense, she says, come, eat my food and drink the wine I have mixed." So this scripture is talking all about who? Wisdom. It's talking all about how wisdom has prepared. Wisdom prepares. If you want to be a person of sexual purity and sexual integrity, you also want to be a person of wisdom who prepares. Right? It says wisdom has built her house. She has set up its 7 pillars. She has prepared her meat and mixed her wine. And it also goes on continually to talk about how wisdom prepares. And it's a fantastic scripture to just really to tell us how much we need to be wise in our choices, wise in what we do online, and helps us to understand that using an accountability or filtering software doesn't mean that you're bad per se. It just means that you're being wise and you're setting boundaries in place with where you can go and where you can't go online. And so I want to encourage you to do that. Be a person of wisdom this week. Take that extra step. Last week you asked yourself, are you honest enough? And are you willing to admit that you're broken and that you're willing and you're ready to change? This week I'm going to encourage you to find some accountability software, find some filtering software, and next week we'll talk a little bit, in the coming weeks, talk about accountability and who you talk to, where you go, what different kinds of people you need to set up in your support system. But this week your challenge is to find some accountability software. Check out those 4 sites that I mentioned. There's tons of others you can Google online, but find some great great software you can put on your computer, your laptops, your devices to keep you protected and to keep you safe. God bless. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to the podcast this week. I want to encourage you to check out our website, purelifepodcast.com, for a lot of great blogs and resources and podcasts from previous episodes to help you along in your journey for sexual purity. Remember, you can listen to the podcast on our website, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. And if you need to contact me for any reason, if you have questions or comments, email me at frank@purelifepodcast.com. That's frank@purelifepodcast.com. See you next week.